Hey guys, Dark Humility here with another mini guide and demo on the Season 10 closed beta. This is a Fire Druid. Now, I've done Fire Druid at least a demo before. I don't know about mini guide and demo, but I think I have anyway. Or at least a full guide potentially in one season with like Molten Boulder Druid. Today though, we're going to show you guys the power of Volcano. Now, Volcano and Fissure are actually pretty similar in power. But we're going to talk about some of the in and outs of a very powerful sleeper build that a lot of people just simply ignore. This build is really crazy. So, without further ado, let's get into the particulars of Volcano. So, we have just enough strength and dex to wear gear, and then we dump vitality. Pretty simple. You're going to want a lot of negative fire res, negative physical res, and plus skills in order to make the most out of this skill. All those things help Volcano. Volcano is a combination of fire and physical damage like Molten Boulder. If you go Fissure, all you need is fire damage. Now I could go Fissure, and it's very similar, but it's the same thing. It's a little bit different gear preferences though and whatnot, so we're going to kind of show you the Volcano approach here, but with Fissure, you know, you'd go Main Song over Brimstone every time. You would still maybe go Main Song potentially on this build. And then obviously you wouldn't ever even think of using an Act 4 Mercenary for both Amp and Conviction, but in this case we are on this build. So we'll show you a bit more of a complex fire build here that's actually pretty cool. Anyway, you're going to want 163 FCR. FCR is pretty key to just moving around and casting things in general. All those cast animations being improved, like Cyclone Armor and Animals as well. That being said, Gust is on a cooldown, so it's not insanely important. Volcano is also a bit of a cooldown skill. So yeah. FCR is not insanely essential, but it's useful. I like it, and if you plan to use Enigma, it's actually essential if you want to like chain Gust and normal teleport. Oh, sorry. Anywhere. 56 FE chart, pretty solid. Have pretty good res as well, but we could also clean it up with better corruptions if we had them. Closed beta does provide some limitations on like sustain. Things of that nature. Sustain though, if you're not going LPK or MPK though, and things of that nature, such as like Soul Runes in the staff or something, you can always use Phoenix, and then you could also use Earthshaker. That's another very common combination for very high damage and sustain on a Fire Druid. So very cool stuff. Pretty much went over all the basics there. Not too much more to talk about. You could always be tankier for hardcore and go for more DR and res, just like on any build. So you can always run even like things like Storm Shield if you want, and Earthshaker, instead of a staff approach like Brimstone or Main Song. But otherwise, that's what you do. Skills, put 1 point into all the summons, and then put the remainder of your points in Oak Sage. After you max out all the fire skills, make sure you have 0.5 cooldown on Gust, or as low as you can get it. And 1 point Hurricane does help out with the survivability, keeping the monsters kind of frozen in place. On this build, your main sources of damage are Armageddon, which is running right now, and Volcano. What's really interesting about Armageddon is you can actually make it like, if you just go like a passive druid, you can kind of just let Armageddon kill everything for you. And just heal off of your Mercenary or something and just be practically invincible, which is actually kind of interesting. But it's not like an insanely serious fast build, but you can do it. Using Prayer Aura and a bunch of other interesting things. Kind of cool. Alright, so you got your max cooldown Gust. Put the rest points at Oak Sage. Alright, we're good with that. We have an Act 4 Mercenary. Now you can go Act 2 if you just want to use a simple Infinity, or Act 1 if you want to just use simple lower res if you can't afford Infinity, but an Infinity staff on an Act 4 Mercenary is really strong on this build. because the Act 4 Mercenary can also cast Amp, and Amp will help out Molten Boulder or Volcano, which we're using Volcano in this case, so as you can see, it's very effective. Don't worry about the jewels in this, but just, any kind of DR is really helpful. You're going to want to hit max FCR on him so that he's constantly casting his bone armor and being tanky as well. In Season 10, the Act 4 Mercenary is a lot tankier, so feel free to use this Mercenary with impunity a lot more often because it's just a lot better. I've tested it, I can tell you, 100% the case. So you've got level 4 resist fire aura as well, which will boost her fire damage from flickering flame. Mercenary just overall is a nice aura bot that will also give you amp and can survive things pretty well with bone armor. Brimstone Rain. Brimstone Rain is great for reducing the physical res of the monsters, which is really good for Volcano. Additionally, you could even go things like Soul Drainers for even more of that, but Mage Fist, of course, helps out with fire skills and FCR. However, you could also use Mang's Song, which gives more plus skills, not negative Fizz res, but also gives lower resist. So Mang's Song is also good, also could have more sockets potentially, so there's some trade-offs here. This gives more life, more resist as well, so it's, you can kind of go either way on a Volcano Druid, honestly, from what I saw in testing and what I've seen in general. Plus skills, very strong on a physical fire hybrid build. Obviously, facets are going to be very good. Nothing's going to beat Ravenlore in this build. But obviously, there are other close options, but nothing even really that close. You got elemental skills on the Ami, or plus skills, whatever you can do. If you want more res, you can get Mars. And then, of course, you got skills, FCR, skills, and being more important than facets, being more important than FCR, and so on. Actually, negative res is really important on this build, but just a combination of physical and fire, just like the Mercenary has on himself, and from his own abilities. This is where my Cannot Be Frozen is on this build, but it's kind of a janky solution that's on the beta. Typically, you just get that on an Ami or something, and you'd be good. You can wear whatever you want. And the boots, not super important boots on this build, honestly. There's a lot of different options, survivability or MF or whatever. Then you can, of course, got a Druid Torch here. You got an Annie. You've got Elemental Skillers, and we got Life, Res, and MF down there. Whatever you want to wear on those, pretty good. You do need the damage skillers, though. Hybrid abilities, the large charms will never win, so it does a lot of physical damage. Always want the skillers. Okay. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's show him off. Let's show what he's capable of. This build is very, 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 very strong. Emphasis on very. Okay. It's less than a week away, Zydric. Heck yeah, man. I'm here for the Pally mini guides. What should I do next, chat? Let's do a poll. Can one of my moderators set up a poll? Pally or Necro? Those are the last two classes we have to do. Which chat wants us to get to? The last two classes of mini guides that we have not yet done live here on the last day of closed beta. But that is what they're doing. Let's see here. What do we got? Pally. Nice. Sorry. Oof. Alright, let's do it. Let's get all everything up. We got all the summons already. Make sure to just get all your hotkeys set up. There's like a gazillion buttons on this build. And then go for it. This is why Phoenix can be nice. If you just like jump into the monsters are really good. Notice how the amp and the conviction is doing some big damage here, obviously at the Brimstone Rain. But there are other options, as I explained, in the gear for sure, and even on the Mercenary. Picking up the Cyclone armor can be annoying, especially if you have low SCR. But FCR isn't super important on a cooldown or a channel build. So you don't have to worry about it on a lot of Druid abilities unless you're going like Wind Druid. I noticed that it's just like crushing the cows, like absolutely crushing them. It's pretty much just Gust, Volcano, Gust, Volcano, Gust, Volcano, Gust, Volcano, Gust, Volcano, and everything dies. Heck yeah, man. I salute you. You putting in the work for sure. Yeah, they die like instantly if they have like the amp on them. And you notice Armageddon's nice too, especially when I jump into the monsters. So what's gonna happen here is Armageddon also does physical fire damage, by the way. So it's actually kind of always nice to have the amp to some degree. It's kind of a double build. So now if I go like, let's see. What is good for this build? What can we do? We could show it off in Ashen Plains. Hopefully the lack of light res doesn't get me killed. It might. I don't have like horrible res, but on this particular setup. But yeah, I don't know. There is some cause for concern here. Let's see. Do another tier 3 here though. Look at the monsters just run into the volcanoes. Damage is really insane, honestly. You can see on something that's a little tankier though, it takes a little bit longer for them to die until they have both the amp and conviction on them. Make sure to keep both your Armageddon and Hurricane up. And in a map like this, your Cyclone armor, definitely. Souls are nasty. Nasty beasts. Alright, show them off a bit in one of the new maps, and that'll be it for this mini guide and demo. We'll move on to the next class. Poll is up. Might have to refresh if it's on mobile.
Hello.
Is the poll up? What was the result of the poll? Which one are we doing, chat? Don't lie. I'm on to you. We tested everything. Everything is in the VODs, but these are mini guides and demos that are a lot cleaner than just like a demo where people are like, where in the video is the gear? I can't find the gear, you know, it's like, well, I do that stuff in the beginning. I talk about options, I talk about gear that I'm wearing, and then we go from there.
Good day.
This is the last Druid though, and this is the last showcase of his power, which is insane, as you can see. Like, it's really simple. This build has no shortage of power, and you can see because my offense is so great. When you get this strong, my summons aren't dying either. Look at it just flatten this whole swaths of monsters. And the new boss is about to get smoked. Where is he at? Oh, Bear got hit pretty hard there. So he does volcanoes too. Who's gonna win? My volcanoes or his volcanoes? Looks like my volcanoes are stronger. Alright, well GG guys. That is it for the Volcano Druid mini guide and demo. Fissure looks pretty similarly, and Molten Boulder is actually a very similar build as well. Both are very strong. I would say Volcano and Fissure have a small edge over Molten Boulder. But Molten Boulder is incredibly fun looking and fun and powerful, and narrow maps as well. Looks like we actually lost a bunch of summons there, so you'd have to resummon them. Those bosses can do a lot of damage. Remember, vines do die in Season 10, so sometimes in their animation of coming back out of the ground, they might die. So you might have to resummon them every once in a while. This is why you can't just run around in circles in Tier 2 declone anymore in Season 10 with Poison Creepers. You might actually have to resummon them and, you know, make sure they stay on them. No, Fury's really good. Alright guys, GG, and I'll see you guys in the next one. From the Mad Lab to you. Smash it. Let's get it in Season 10, which is on October 25th. And of course, if you guys are awaiting that tier list and infographic we always release every season, you can check out that updated video on the 23rd of October. See you guys in a bit. Let's crush it. Smash it. Get it.